We are live. It is Monday. It is the rundown. It is April 10th. It is brought to you by Lisa. Mattresses. Bang, 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 bang. $75 off. Lisa.com/barstool. Click on it. You can save that link forever, so it doesn't matter if you purchase this link today, in a month. You always save it. Lisa Mattresses, the Nantucket house full of mattresses, all from Lisa. They're pretty good mattresses, so invest. You won't be sad. All right. The golf boys back for play. We start with the Masters. There's lots of different things that go on the Masters. I highly encourage everybody who's watching this to listen to the Foreplay podcast with Frankie Borelli, the pizza maker. It was excellent. And maybe because I was there, so I know how excitable that young guy was. But he had some fortuitous breaks. The part, I don't even know if we can put it in, just a taste of what we're doing.
Yeah.
But him talking about the hole-in-one, when he was like waving his hat like
he
he was a sailor.
That's what he said. He goes like the sailors when they depart, and he's like, we're all waving our hats, going nuts.
It was a hilarious take on it, so it's very good.
Frankie's, that's it. He knows it, but he's peaked. His life is all downhill from here at the ripe age of 23.
So we'll go to you, Riggs, since you're a golf guy. Thoughts on the overall trip at the Masters, the Sergio victory, the sportsmanship angle that a lot of people like myself and Kevin want to puke, like when they were like slapping each other on the ass and giving each other hugs and tickling each other's balls and all that shit. Really made for disgusting TV from a competitive person like myself. So the floor is yours.
Look, the first half of the day was a snooze fest in terms of the Masters, but it always delivers in the back nine. They've been saying forever, Masters doesn't start till the back nine on Sunday. It was everything he asked for. It was a good storyline. Those two guys separated themselves. They are good buddies, so I know that you guys fucking hate that shit. The thing that I think you confuse it for is like they still want to beat each other as badly as possible. They just can recognize an unbelievable shot and stepping up to the moment. So they're patting each other on the ass. I can see why people don't like it. I don't mind it at all. I think it's cool. I think it adds to it. I think it's what makes golf different. But in terms of the overall storyline of the day, Sergio making an eagle on 15 after he made the birdie on 14, coming back after about 10 different times where I think everybody in the world was like, this is where Sergio blows it. This is where Sergio blows it. This is where Sergio blows it. And then somehow he won the Masters. It was fucking awesome. We saw him at Publix too, so shout out to us. Monday night.
Said that.
But did you talk to him like Mark Wahlberg?
We literally took
Mark Wahlberg. I bullied Mark Wahlberg right off the internet.
But here's what happened is that we had just arrived in Augusta, so we were like, oh, let's go get a picture with him. And we were like, wait, it's like Augusta. That might be like different.
Right.
So we didn't go do it. In hindsight, we probably should have. We just made Rob run over and take a weird picture of him from like 40 feet away. But he was the first guy we saw in Augusta. He ended up winning. The star was obviously Frankie Borelli. We had this big plan last night to do like a full Masters recap. We're going to do different segments. Frankie came in just beaming when he came in. So we were like, get him on a podcast immediately. He went on for an hour.
Things were just lining up. I met the right people. I have to tell you these stories. It was
Just
fucking
tell me.
insane.
We'll do it again on the podcast. Frankie is fired up. Frankie's fired up.
I mean, Matt Kuchar hit a hole-in-one right in front of my eyeball. And I passed out. Like I blacked out.
Awesome that you listened to it and plugged it. Foreplay, go download and subscribe. But yeah, I mean, the whole week was unbelievable. Shout out to Natty. The Natty Shack couldn't have been more fun.
That looked awesome.
That was actually
That was where I was jealous.
Now we had this. First of all, the Wahlberg, I mentioned it. So Marky Mark tweeted, "Congratulations, Sergio Garcia. About time you won a Master. All the hard work. It was great talking with you this morning." Like he just threw it in, like he somehow had something to do with it. So I just quoted the tweet and said, "Breaking: Mark Wahlberg talked to Sergio this morning." He deleted the tweet. Like I put him in a body bag, I zipped it up, and I dropped it in the Charles River. So I put him off the internet. Shout out RIP. I'm surprised he backed down like that.
It was the Natty Shack, to go from a Midas, we were a little sketchy. It was a Midas fucking auto shop, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted an update. I told this story on Barstool Radio. For those who don't listen to Barstool Radio, we went out there. The Country Club was the name of this bar. One night, there were 4 ladies that we're chatting with. Came out one of the girls. Her dad was a member at Augusta. We've tried to explain what having a green jacket means, what being a member of Augusta National means.
300 total.
It is the most exclusive.
That's it, members?
300
It
members.
is the most exclusive frat in the world. It's the highest, most. I'd say those 300 are 3 of the 1,000 most powerful people in America, maybe the world.
And they walk like it too.
And they walk
You know
like
what?
it.
Oh,
and they don't
actually-
care about the rules. They don't care
No.
about anything. They play by frat rules.
A true testament to how impressive they really were. I thought there was a chance you were going to come back hating all that because we talked about golf and their rules and their like hoity-toity shit. The fact that you are so impressed with them, I think shows even double how badass
you
they
know
are.
when there's fake power and like people who act important who aren't like a bouncer at a club, so to speak, or whatever, like fake celebrities, fake importance. There is nothing fake about what they're in. By the way,
But it is kind of fake.
No, it is not, Kevin.
No, you know
Kevin,
what I'm saying?
they could murder you right now. Like I actually believe that.
We're not kidding. It's international waters
Yeah,
inside of
it's
Augusta
wild.
National.
I think
Anything goes.
But it's
Is
fake
that
because it's just
power-
like they run a golf course, but it's real because everybody buys into it.
No. You're missing the point. They have people placed at the highest.
I totally
powers,
understand that,
Like
but-
Goodell, like everybody.
It just
They are-
happens to be a golf course where they all like come
Right.
together.
It's like
But
it's like
it's
the Illuminati
from
meets
everywhere.
Augusta.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm having a problem with any, like, where, like, I can't get this casino done here, or like,
Like the girl that we met at the bar, whose dad was the member, she tried to play it off like, yeah, my dad got in because he really loves golf.
Yeah.
And we were like,
Yeah, your dad's like a head of
And
the
then-
so
mafia.
Dave did a little research and it was like,
you have a house on Cliff Road in Nantucket. How convenient!
Yeah,
like
right.
just the most and they all went to like fancy schools. Anyways, I walked by the bar, and Riggs and this girl's hitting it off. I swear to God, dead serious. I heard Riggs say, "I'm a 3 handicap. I can play in the member guest." Like he was working all weekend.
Absolutely.
Why,
Alex. Like,
take your chance, man.
Yeah,
You're only gonna be
oh,
at
yeah.
Augusta once.
when her friends too couldn't have dropped quicker that her dad was a member at Augusta National, and I popped right up.
Yeah,
was
I
like,
mean those
"Excuse
green
me?"
jackets.
What'd you
I'm
just
surprised
say?
you didn't propose.
I was close. They had to drag me out of the bar.
When we were talking, like if he did, like Riggs would have just left us. Like he would have been on the inside and the ropes, like tagging
course.
on.
I would have like when you guys would have walked by me while I was on the inside, you guys were on the outside. I would have like looked the other way.
I don't know those guys.
What was your takeaway? That's your first time there, obviously.
First
what
time
was your
there.
takeaway of the experience?
My takeaway was that
Not the play on the course
Okay.
necessarily, Augusta.
Augusta
National.
was that I went in. I told Trent this. I went in walking in on Tuesday for the first time, and I was nervous because I thought I was going to be let down. And it is just for someone who's such a golf nerd. I'm obsessed with like the history, and that course has all of it. It was unbelievable. I think it really adds to it too. You think they overdo it with like the no cell phones and all that. It makes it even cooler. It's like you're in 1950. The only thing you have to do the whole time you're there is just watch the golf and pay attention to it, pay attention to the course. The place is unbelievably hilly, which is shocking. Like you really can't tell on TV. The greens look like a fucking putt-putt course because they're so undulating. So I was taken aback by the whole thing. I thought it was awesome, but then again, I mean, I'm a big golf guy, so I'm going
This
to.
story too, I'm sorry if some of it's repetitive because I was doing Barstool Radio, but not the rundown, and this is just so typical. So Frankie and I were walking the course, see where everything's at, and we didn't have watches, and because my time is usually my cell phone, so we didn't have the phones. So I asked some old timer, I'm like, what time is it? Because we have to get back. He just gave me this skull. He goes, time stands still here. Like it was the most like, you don't ask the time. You don't.
Wow.
He had that line. It was almost like he was baiting me. Like
Yep.
it looked like he had a watch and then he didn't. And I was just like, all right, I'll just
Wow.
like fucking eat my pimento
The
sandwich, which I
dramatics
didn't
are
eat.
unbelievable.
Yeah, we had.
Time
I can
stands
appreciate it
still.
and respect it, and seeing how you guys enjoyed it was cool. But like, it's so ridiculous. It's
stands.
like
It is
so
I
dramatic.
went in thinking that too. Like it's gonna be a little ridiculous, and it's just you buy in when
awesome.
you're there.
Yeah,
You're like, this
yeah.
is
Well, you're part of the
fucking
cult,
awesome.
man. This is why
You
they
know,
can
like,
run the world.
Frankie had one of those lines too over the weekend where he just looked at us and he was like, "Man, the beer tastes cold."
Yeah, he said he goes, the chips are saltier.
A classic Barstool move. Also is speaking of buy-in and cult. There's a church that is directly, and I
this is
mean
good.
directly across the street from the Masters, and people charging $50 for a parking spot or whatever. These people let you park for free, literally for free.
It's a church.
And we park
very
there
Christian.
every day, and you write they say a prayer for you. They give you a little slip. What do you want to pray for? And then they read it and they pray back for you. We would make fun of these people like you wouldn't believe.
As
We're
soon
like,
as they gave
what
us the slip-
absolute cocksuckers.
And we,
these
yeah,
people are.
as soon as
Like,
they
how
gave us the slip
stupid are-
and we rolled up the window, we all just went, suckers.
I must have done the math on that parking lot. Be like, there's 400 spots in here. It's $50 a day. How do they
was
make money?
unbelievable.
And they're giving you coffee and they're giving you donuts. It's like, how stupid. Like, I'm taking advantage of these
dumbest
idiots.
people in the world.
And by the way, every day, like, what do we do? I don't even think people knew. We just drove the truck, this big ass. And the last day, we like parked in a handicap spot.
Yep.
And it's just like, fuck these people. Fuck the handicap.
We were a minute away from having like a tailgate right there.
Yeah, we
Just
were.
right there. fucking
The
parking
one
lot.
caveat is we were told day one, like there's no, and every day every day I went through the same mental dance. I'm like, there's no way this can be free. Like nobody's this stupid. Like they're giving money. Don't they do donations at church?
Yeah.
So what the fuck? Charge me.
Well, you're probably supposed to.
We found that out at the end.
Yeah.
They had a donation thing. Yeah. We were told no.
I was gonna say, did you maybe at the end like make it right?
Well,
or you just
no,
fucking
we never
took
made
off
it
and-
right. I don't
No.
get happy Passover. If it was my people, I would have taken care of it. We had a group.
That's the difference between the Jays and the
that's
Christians.
right, and that's why the churches are falling apart because you guys aren't charging for parking.
Falling apart. There's
Here's the thing.
that's the big problem in Christianity these days. The parking.
Here's what we didn't realize. I guess, and by the way, it was sales guy Jay. And actually all business Pete. It was their fault because I said 100 times, "Are you sure there's no way to pay?" They were like, "We tried to pay, they would not let us." I guess there was a donation jar near the coffee donuts, so you had to walk to get it. But I was making a point. I thought they were trying to they may have spiked it. It's like there's no way they're giving me free parking and just normal coffee. So it's like I'm not going.
Bro, you are a crazy person.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Am I though, Kevin? There's some weird shit that goes on with that church. I've seen the stories.
They spike your
What's
coffee
that?
at Augusta.
Yeah, and then
the
next thing
parking
you
lot.
know, it's like weird shit happening to you. And I've seen what's that movie? The newspaper movie from Boston. Spotlight. I've seen Spotlight.
Speaking of sales guy Jay, by the way, I've never seen someone, he hates the GPS lady in a car more than anything you've ever heard in your life.
I can see Jay hating
We
that
were coming
actually.
home one night and she's like, make a left, and 100, he just goes, shut up, just stop yelling. And we were just like, all right, Jay,
I also,
relax.
another fight, Octagon Bob, so he was there and we ran out of rooms. We didn't have enough rooms. So he just slept in basically an open living room. And we came home one night, and I don't know why it struck me, it was so funny. He woke up dead sleep. And he turns to us 3 a.m, and we were all kind of banged up. He goes, "With all due respect to Dave, Riggs, you are screaming in my face." It was fucking hilarious.
He was not happy.
He was not happy
No.
at all. And then shout out, I Save You Guys direct flight. Brett, I legitimately hate now. He will not book my travel anymore, ever. But the fact that he had you guys not going direct home as well is so stunningly inadequate as a office manager. It's really tough to put together
doesn't work.
how he did that.
I like Brett, he's one of my friends, so I'm glad that we got to go direct. That was better than not going direct.
And for those who missed it,
Look at Barstool Indy roll in here.
we had a
jeez.
10-hour
It's like an NWO takeover.
Yeah, we had a 10-hour flight trip down from New York to Augusta. Missed our connection. That wasn't Brett's fault. Best case scenario, it would have been 5 hours round trip no matter what. And Jay, sales guy, was already there. And we're like, Jay, why didn't you fly with us? He's like, oh, I took the direct flight from New York to Augusta. We're like, what do you mean direct flight? He's like, oh yeah, there's a direct flight.
I feel your pain after this morning because it couldn't have been easier for us to get home today.
It was
We
80,
got home.
85 minutes up and down for
We
10
got home.
hours. So,
And it's like
shout out
15
Office
minutes
Manager.
from our house.
Otis Nixon, he's been found. He went missing over the weekend.
There's only one problem with the story is that he wasn't lost long enough.
I don't ever know that he was lost. I said it.
Yeah, he was probably just doing crack in a dark alley somewhere. But I wish it was a saga like Richard Simmons almost.
I had
Where
no
is Otis
reaction,
Nixon?
zero, when I heard the story. People like, oh, Otis Nixon is missing. Yeah, that's a very Otis Nixon thing to do. The guy, I don't.
human.
He's been alive for 200 years.
Yeah, the only reason that Otis Nixon is not dead yet is because he's immortal. He's never going to die. He came into the league, he came out of the womb 120 years old, still looks 120 years old. I think he'll be that way till the
He
end
looks
of time.
like a demon, too.
Oh, yeah, no, he doesn't look like a human. He looks like an alien of some sort.
He knows maybe Satan,
Yeah.
on the up and up.
Right, no, that's Otis Nixon to a T. What do you think he was doing? That is the question.
He looks like a guy who could get lost in a crack house for like 72 hours.
Exactly. But then,
But
like,
in which, are you really missing at that
No,
point?
No, he's not, but he's
Who
also-
even put in the call? How do you know
Like
Otis
Mi-
Nixon
Mrs.
goes
Nixon?
missing?
Like,
No, Nixon.
right.
Otis
No
Nixon's
way.
the type of guy who has no
missing.
family and friends.
and he's that type of guy who can go in and out of the crackhead life. Like, I think he can
He's
spend
not
72
Lamar.
hours
Like Lamar
and then
Odom
come out.
couldn't handle. He almost died.
He was on the way to the golf course, and they said he never showed up. He was like a quick little detour, like, I'm
that's
gonna
like-
go to the crack house.
Your buddies
But
will
then
know
next
that.
to-
They're like, if you don't make that tee time, that's who.
Yeah, that's true. That's what it was.
Where the fuck is he?
But who golfs with Otis Nixon? I mean,
Yeah.
Otis Nixon has
He
crackhead
was,
friends.
he's on the way to Augusta National?
No, just like golfing. And that's who called it in. That's who knew.
So he's the type of guy as well who would show up 4 days late to his tee time and just like play 18 by himself and not even like
Yeah.
know something was
Yep,
amiss.
and not even like say anything to his buddies. Like, where are you guys?
Yeah, he's just like played 18. He's Otis Nixon. He's looked the same.
Legendary.
20 years ago he looked the same. 100 again, like Bradley Cooper. I forget who went viral with like, oh my God, Bradley.
Nick Cage, Bradley
Nick Cage,
Cooper,
time travel.
McConaughey. Yeah. Like a Civil War picture,
Yeah.
and it looks just like Nicolas Cage.
Otis Nixon is not a time traveler. He's just lived straight. He's just been alive for all those
Forever.
years.
He's been alive forever. He will be alive forever.
United Airlines, they are all over the news. Probably the most viral story of the day. Not probably, definitely. So they dragged this guy off an airplane. And the crux of this, that he's bleeding, he's everything. So they overbooked the plane, and they needed 4 volunteers to get off. I think they got up to $800 a ticket. Nobody moved. So they said, fuck it, we're going to do a random drawing. This is like Hunger Games style. I'd rather get picked to play in the Hunger Games than get kicked off a plane that I didn't want to get off. So they picked this guy. He's like, I'm a doctor. I got a thing. Won't get off the plane. They drag him off. I think everybody on the planet right now is so on this guy's side. United Airlines, I said it. I'll say it again. I'll say it till I die. Anybody who is involved in this, I don't want him just punished. I don't want him just thrown in jail. I want him dead. I want him to suffer before they die, and they deserve it. This type of treatment can't be. If you buy a ticket, that's your fucking seat, period.
It's a tough break for this guy to be on your plane and
He's gonna
just
sue the fuck out of him, though.
Just get literally dragged off is tough. The one thing I do hate are all these fucking people that come out and they're like, "We're gonna boycott United. We're gonna boycott United." First of all, nobody on that plane was getting off. If you're boycotting, you would get the fuck off. You're that upset. Everyone's like,
No,
"Oh
no,
yeah,
that's
sucks."
No,
Fair.
that's different. That's
Hold
different.
on. Here's the other thing, though.
'Cause they wanna
is
just
no
fucking
one in
fly,
the
too.
world is also nobody looks at airplane prices and you're like, "Oh, that's United. I'm going to go to the more expensive one." No one on planet Earth is going to do that. Everybody's going to still pay for United. They're going to do the same thing. The airlines know that, so they can just drag people off planes. They get no repercussions. They sent out some fucking half-ass dog shit statement that basically was like, "Oh yeah, we overbooked it, definitely."
They are motherfuckers like that.
So there's like,
They
what are you
drag
going
it
to
by the
fucking do?
balls.
So the people that are bitching
I-
saying they're going to boycott are full of shit. Nobody's going to
I can
boycott.
honestly say that if it's between United and someone else, though, I'll pick another
The
airline.
problem is,
But if it's,
a
okay,
game
but if
of-
it's $8 more,
I
you're just
wouldn't.
immediately grab the shorter
No,
one.
I don't
I
think
wouldn't.
so.
I think everybody does that. Everybody grabs
this was
the
such
cheapest
a
one.
dick move. And that poor doctor getting dragged out of there with his fat belly out and everything.
His belly, the belly look.
I mean,
was-
that belly makes me look like shredded. It
Yeah.
was just like this perfect little blob. That was bad, Riggs. I know what you're saying. I hear you. I think that's enough to maybe change people's
the
opinions.
only thing I'll say is, are there any like good airlines? So I mean, everyone has. It's a game of who can you top this with idiocy.
It could happen tomorrow on American.
Right.
It could happen
There's
tomorrow
no
on
way,
Delta.
right? That America, it wouldn't have stunned you if that was American. You'd be
mean,
like, "Oh, I thought
listen.
only United did
Right,
that." No.
right.
The last 2 times I traveled, when Brett put us on like 16 connecting flights, which All Business Pete made a fair point, which I don't know that Brett, he's like, well, I saved $8 to make you guys travel an extra 7 hours of travel time. We also have all this equipment, like thousands of dollars of video equipment that we're trusting with like, I mean, I'm waiting for one time if I let him keep booking it where I'd have to take like railroads and like piggyback and it doesn't matter.
Fred's just hitchhiking down the
Yeah,
highway.
I saved 4 cents. Me and Resnick had this conversation. We saved $4.50. So who cares that to go to fucking New Hampshire, you had to stop over in California? That doesn't matter. I wasn't on the plane. Anyways, the point is, we have all this equipment. Flying direct is the only safe thing to do. When we lost our bags, so we missed our flight in Atlanta, and we're like, can we drive? We're going to drive because you can't get us on the next plane. They wouldn't give us our bags. It's like, the bags are in the airport. They're like, it's going to take 4 hours for us to get your bags out of a place called cold storage. I don't know what the fuck that meant.
That's not good when your shit's in cold storage.
Cold storage sounds
I don't know what it means, but it does not sound good.
No, it sounded like Siberia.
Right.
And finally, we're like, well, we're driving, and the lady at the end, she's like, all right, I'll just make a call and get your bags. It's like, we've been arguing with you for a fucking hour, you cunt.
I'm happy everyone's home because they can watch Better Call Saul tonight. It premieres on AMC, 10 o'clock, season 3. Barstool Indy's just having a party.
Hey, Barstool Indy, we're doing a show, so calm down.
We're doing work over here. Work.
Jesus Christ.
Premieres on AMC tonight, 10 o'clock. It's season 3. That takes place 5 years before Saul Goodman met Walter White. But that means we get to see Gus Fring, we get to see Hector Salamanca, all the beginning characters of from Breaking Bad that you loved. You're going to see how they all come into the mix and how Jimmy McGill goes full Saul Goodman. So tonight, season 3 premiere, only on AMC, 10 o'clock.
This video also went crazy viral in the sense that we're on like ABC, Fox News. It's a sheriff just like face planting a chick.
Well, there's 2 different stories there. There's the Colorado arrest.
Okay, so we're talking about the Colorado arrest, so we're going to reverse those. You look like you're half asleep today.
I'm pretty sick.
You're pretty sick. You look sick. Don't give it to anybody else. Colorado arrest. Our Colorado Viceroy, shout out to him because we went crazy viral over this. Face plant, is it too much excessive force? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. No, too much.
Way too much.
It's a bad look when the chick is like 75 pounds in like her outfit for the night and high heels and you ragdoll her to the ground. No matter what she said or did, I'm sure she probably mouthed off or was annoying or even resisted or whatever. You can't just like smash a chick's face into the pavement.
Yeah, it's one thing when it's like a big, broad-shouldered, kind of tough chick, and like she might come after you. That chick was the most harmless thing I've ever seen in my life, and he threw her down hard, and his like body landed on top of her.
Not good.
That was bad. You can't do that.
And then moving right along, we have the sheriff's video where they're talking trash, and the other sheriffs are in like I would call them ninja masks.
Yes.
So, to the dealers I say, enjoy looking over your shoulder, constantly wondering if today's the day. We come for you. Enjoy trying to sleep tonight, wondering if tonight's the night our SWAT team blows your front door off the hinges.
Now,
Snake Eyes from G.I. Joe.
if this is the guy I'm thinking of, he's very famous. And he makes these videos all the time. I love it, but they're worried about, like, I have no problem with this. This guy's a badass. He challenges all the gang members to, like, come fight him in, like, an alley and stuff. He's the only one who seems to be like, this is my face, this is what I look like. The other guys aren't sheriff yet, so they probably don't want, like, drive-bys, so they're covering their face, which I can live with. And by the way, I'd like to hire this guy to be a sheriff.
These guys are awesome. This propaganda video, too, they had all the music in the background was like low but really intense the whole time. The way it was choreographed, the way that they walked off, the way, too, that they clearly, like, it was all about the war on drugs and all that, which, like, he doesn't get that that's, like, a metaphor. Like, these guys were ready for fucking
Literally war.
They panned out, as they panned out, the guy on the edge, too, had, like, his gun basically, like, sticking out of his pants. So I don't really know how you can do it much more badass than that for the war on drugs.
The problem is, though, this is Florida, right?
Wherever it is, like, it clearly was way over the top.
But my thing is, Florida is losing the war on drugs.
Oh, yeah.
It's not working.
There's enough people like this. Sorry, I keep looking back. I have the Red Sox, the under, and the Devil Rays.
Why don't you tell the folks about your weekend gambling?
Full boat on tilt because yesterday I gambled and I was up a little bit going into the day. I took early the Blue Jays. They lost 5-2, I think, to the D-Rays. They're up 2-0, but it wasn't tragic. I took the Cardinals minus 200. I forget who they were playing, but they lost like 7-0, 8-0, never in doubt, bad. But I had 2 winners in the early game, so I wasn't that upset. I had the Cavs minus 5. They're up 30 going into the fourth quarter. And I had the Mariners against the Angels, who are up 9-3 going into the bottom of the ninth. They both lost in the span of 5 minutes. There hasn't been a comeback like that in 60 years in the NBA, and I don't even know what the odds were in that baseball game.
Yeah, it was going into the ninth with a lead that big. The number was like 2,569 and 2.
It was an astounding 20 minutes in my own brain of like me just figuring out what the fuck was going on. Then I had to sit there and suffer through. Because then once that happens, I bet everything. So it was getting late, so I had the Mets, I had the under.
Gambling Dave's fully
I'm
back.
watching Sunday Night Baseball, and fucking they're sitting there talking about how the Cavs are unbeatable. They're like, the Cavs they beat the Celtics last week. Can't beat the fucking Cavs, the number 1 seed, playing great. It's like, dude, they just blew a 30-point lead 5 seconds ago. Also, have you heard? So we hired Frank the Tank.
What?
Yeah. Yep.
How do you just fuck?
So Frank the Tank is going to be our weekend grinder.
Yeah.
So
There has never been a better person
hold on.
for that
Yeah.
job.
Have you heard the email I wrote back?
No, I
right,
don't. You didn't
so
tell me
This
any
was
of this,
great.
dude.
This was a great saga at the house.
I
This
wish
was
we
great.
actually.
Dude,
had
this is
email.
like telling me that you like found my biological father. You got to give me every detail.
So
here.
Frank the Tank will be working starting, I believe, this coming weekend. He clocks in at midnight and he clocks out.
You're a dick for just like not telling me this right
he
away.
clocks out at 6 a.m. That's what he's going to do Saturdays and Sundays, maybe even Friday night. I'm not sure. Probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Those wake ups and first checks of the website are going to be great.
So I was talking to him.
Amazing.
And I reached out. I'm like, we'd like to maybe have you work for us, do some videos. We're going back and forth. I'm like, what's your schedule like, Frank? I originally was like, why don't you do your top 3 in video form, and we'll do it. And he's
three stars.
Yes, 3 stars
yeah,
video
yeah.
form. I'm paraphrasing here. I have the exact email what Frank the Tank said. He said, I go to bed. I try to get to bed by 2 a.m. on work nights, on work days. And on weekends, I try to get to bed by 5 a.m. I sleep in shifts.
He's a tank. Like,
Yep.
He sleeps in shifts.
What does that mean? Like Da Vinci sleep? Like Kramer?
I-
like every
I-
like
he,
couple
like,
hours?
He like sleeps for maybe like 45 minutes.
Yeah,
Like
Da Vinci
gets
sleep,
up,
yep.
hangs
Pops
out.
up.
He's a tank. He's a fucking tank.
He-
He's Frank Fleming. Frank the Tank.
Who tries to get to bed by 2 a.m. on weekdays?
That's what I said. Like, you don't, like, that's, like, 10 or 11 is a reasonable, that's
I
way
try
later.
to get to bed, and then 5 a.m. on weekdays.
Like, what
on
happens when you
weekends.
think about
He's
missing
perfect.
your 2 a.m. deadline? Like, you're up till 3, 4, 5 o'clock.
Well,
incredible.
5 a.m. on the weekends, so he's going to be grinding, and he's like, maybe hopefully it turns into more. So God knows what Frank the Tank is going to be doing for us, but the midnight hour just got really interesting.
The last like week or so with Frank the Tank, when we watch Mets games, we will tweet like identical
I
stuff
know, I've been
at
seeing it.
identical times, and I don't know what that says about me or him or what. It's a scary
He's
thought.
had some great tweets. One of
Also,
my-
his proportions are unbelievable. He is not shaped like a human.
It's
It's wild.
sleeps in shifts. One of my favorite tweets he had last week was, "Wow, it's sunny. I thought it was going to rain."
That's it.
That was it.
Yep.
Just Frank the Tank coming in
It's
with
a good
like-
tweet.
Yeah.
It's a great tweet.
Yeah. So again, he'll be taking over the graveyard shift for us on the weekends.
Very exciting.
Yes, it's exciting news.
Feels a
from the
need
Tank.
too.
Yeah.
Feels a very
does.
serious need.
I've never heard anybody say they sleep in shifts ever.
I've never heard of someone updating a website for 17 years for fun, for
Yeah.
no money, every single day.
See, when he talked to A-Rod, he like was busting his balls.
Yeah.
He's
He is a. When you follow him on Twitter, he's a quintessential Mets fan. If you're a Mets fan, you love Frank Fleming.
yeah,
He's
Frank-
awesome.
Frank Fleming, Frank the
And
Tank.
Frank the
The other
Tank.
day, we blew like the bullpen blew it, and I just saw
Hassel. So I
Hansel
bet the
Robles,
Mets.
yeah.
And Frankie was reading me Frank the Tank's tweets before I knew what was happening. I was getting fucking frustrated.
he
as
dropped
fuck.
it incompetent on him. It was perfect. I was like, he knows what he's doing. He's a writer. He's a showman.
Yeah, oh yeah, he gets it.
All right, so
Frank,
I think
see you on
that's-
Friday night.
Yeah,
When Friday night
that's it.
starts.
Yeah, I gotta walk them through our back end, but midnight. It's
I mean,
the
our
tank
our
is
traffic.
rolling through.
I'm
Barstool.
telling you what, Friday night midnight traffic is gonna be like.
I wish we could have like a graphic. I don't know. It's like when 12 hits.
We need the whole site to change.
Well, it's just
to the sportsy
well,
site.
well,
Oh, you're
like
right.
a tank just goes slowly
dude,
and
we-
peels the site off.
we
I
need-
know.
yeah,
That's what
and
I'm
it
saying.
pulls it away.
like right, it like drags it off and his comes behind it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't know if that's like.
Oh, yeah.
You can do it, but you can because I've seen zipper ads
Yeah.
on sites. So it's like
the skin takeover. Thing.
yeah. So it's like Frank's just is in with like an army helmet on and like just going across the
Yes.
site, pulling it off, and then you're in Frank the Tank world, which by the way is a world that is pretty different.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
Great.
The upside down world. I sleep in ships.
I sleep in shifts. Unprovoked, by the way. I was like, can you do like the 3 stars of the nights? I sleep in shifts. Okay. All right. All right, Frank. Frank the Tank.
Friday can't come soon enough.
Nope, I'm excited.
All right, that's the rundown.